guys, Ash your Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. I am not alone. I am joined by Skratch. Skratch, has been like a hot minute, bro. How you doing?
Yo, what's up, Ash? Doing pretty good, man. Yeah, it has been quite a while, actually. I forgot.
Dude, it's too long for us, man. Too long.
I'm flying, dude.
Oh, yes. Nice to see you again.
I know. How are things? How's the kiddo?
Yeah, pretty good. Kiddo's just growing like super quick, you know, making me feel like life is just passing like this. But other than that, pretty good. What about you?
Nice, man. Yeah, same. My little guy's 7 years old, and I felt like I was just kind of celebrating his birth with my subscribers a year ago, it feels like. But I'm happy things are well with you. Are you? How's Raid, by the way? Raid treating you well? Are you into Raid? Or are you kind of like out right now? Where's your mental right now?
Yeah, Raid doing pretty good actually. Been pretty grindy on the clashes, on the siege. We managed to smash all of them. So yeah, doing pretty good actually.
Ooh, congratulations. I wish I could say the same.
Tons of clan work, you know.
I have my name as Much Love ROK, by the way. I should probably give this a shout out. Usually we're used to being trolled as content creators, maybe, right? But
yep.
I'm going against a clan that says Rock, R-O-K, Rock, I don't know, Love Ash. They changed their clan name in Clan vs. Clan. And then you go to their members, and where is it? They got Ash XOXO, Ash, I love you. I'm like, bro. Like, and then we get this guy, Lick Ash.
Lick Ash. He's taking it a step further.
He's taking it a step further, man. I don't know. I'll take it. Whatever. We'll reserve comment. Anyway, man, we're here talking about artifacts.
You better watch your back when you're out, you know?
Right. Good old shout out to Lick Ash out there. I really appreciate that. So anyway, we're, what was I saying? Oh, artifacts here. We all know the best sets in the game, but I want to talk about a few sets that we love that suck, or that are in the category that people would probably put towards the bottom, the middle to the bottom tiers. Because honestly, bro, like we get these artifacts anyway, a lot of them, right? Or we get the materials to craft them in the forge. And like, it's still good to get utility out of these sets, right? And some of them are really underrated. So we're gonna give a few of our favorite picks, bad artifacts that you should actually use in this video. But first, just to check off all the boxes, you know, what to you are the most elite sets in the game? Like the SSSS tier, like top 3 or 5 or whatever, rattle them off.
So to be honest, I think that the 9-piece sets are just kind of like taking over all of the old ones, right? So
Bow and kneel before me.
we're talking Pinpoint, we're talking Merciless, we're talking Stone Skin, Slayer. All of these sets
Feral,
are just,
yep.
Feral. They're just at the top protection, you know. And then you just have Lethal left there on the side because it pairs good with Stone Skin or OG Savage. I feel like these are the super powerful sets now, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the 2 pieces, I agree, by the way, like completely. It's hard to even choose between them. It just depends on what you need, right?
It is,
even Slayer, which is probably not the #1 out of them, but it can be a beast on the right champion, like Americus or whatever, right? What about the 2 pieces? What do you think to be like the top of S tier? Would you put like, I guess for me, it would be like a combo of, I still think Perception, partially because it's like so easy to get that it's like you get good gear. Like when I'm sure you're the same way, bro, but whenever I'm going into my gear and I'm like, I need a good piece, or like I know I have it in Perception because I have so much gear there, you know?
Same, and I feel like it's on every single account. And yeah, Speed, Perception are definitely the most powerful 2-piece sets in the game.
Yeah. What do you think about Impulse and Zeal, real quick? Impulse and Zeal, like the live arena sets, they're both really good as well.
Yeah, they're both really
in some situations. Yeah.
Really good as well, as you mentioned, more niche. I do think Zeal can work on some super crazy strategies. Like nowadays, if you're looking at a Tranda team with billions of damage, she is on Zeal, you know. Impulse, very strong set as well. I do tend to use it a lot, but more in PvE personally.
Yeah, same. All right, let's get to the bad sets. enough about the good sets.
Bring it on.
Okay.
Bad but good, you know.
Why don't you go first, man? You're the guest. What's a bad set that you like?
So I don't think it's a bad set. I personally think it's a very good set, but I feel like
underrated.
Yeah, underrated. I feel like most of the people don't really like it, even though it got buffed a while ago. So the Affinity Breaker, I feel like is one of my most favorite sets that's really underestimated. And it's just such an amazing set. Like, I'm using it on many champions, especially for Chimera, Curse City, you know. Like, I have even Husk is built on one of those sets for damage. Ninja used to be built on that set for damage as well for the Shogun, right? For the Shogun is really good too. But I'm using it mainly now on champions for the Chimera. And Negmotar, Impulse, Affinity Breaker, he just absolutely wrecks every single rotation of the Chimera. It doesn't matter what affinities they're bringing, Negmotar is still the GOAT, and many other champions that suffer of the same affinity syndrome, so I think the Affinity Breaker set is definitely a really underestimated gear set, and it has so much potential.
I completely agree with you, and sorry I was taking forever. The whole time you're talking, I'm trying to pull it up in the background, the actual sets. But it gives you a really good reason to farm a different boss than Dark Fae too, right?
Yep.
Because I'm sure a lot of people in the same boat as me and probably you. It's just like, yeah, if it's not a Dark Fae rotation, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Affinity Breaker.
You feel lost.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and then when it is a Dark Fae rotation, you're like, okay,
let's go.
I'm taking Doom Tower seriously this time, man.
Yeah.
But that's a great call out. So Affinity Breaker, who do you have built in Affinity Breaker? You may have said and I missed it, but.
So I have like Husk, Ninja, Nekmotar. You can run it on AO Street. Tons of champions that basically debuff and are now void. Can pretty much all of them work on the set.
All right, well, I'll give you another Doom Tower set then, man. Why not, right?
Bring it on.
How about Frostbite? So
I feel like, that's a good pick.
It's such a just no one talks about Frostbite, let's be real, right? But it is a two-piece, and it got a pretty decent chance at the freeze, and it's a nice little filler on a control champion, and it can be, I know you're a PvP player and you love the arena, it can be that difference maker, and sometimes in this game, sometimes you just need to stack up those small percentage difference makers that can turn the tide in a match, and a 15% chance to block freeze, and then to place freeze on the attacker is super nice. I love that it has the block as well, because freeze, it's becoming more prevalent in the game, right? Like the Virgo, the Augurs, the Lady Noels, right? So like freeze is something you have to contend with more. Torment a little bit more being used in the meta as well. So Frostbite is a sneaky little addition for a two-piece that you can slap on there, maybe instead of that Perception or whatever you were going to use in that spot, right?
100%, man. Like freeze is definitely more common, and it can be so annoying when, for example, you just drop their stone skin, you do something, you hit them, and then bang, your champion freezes because of the set.
It takes you by surprise, right? Or the opponent, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
you're just like, what? Yeah.
Really, really annoying when that happens. Yeah.
All right, what you got next, man?
So I'm gonna go actually with Retaliation. This is a set that got buffed a while ago, right? I can't really remember how long ago.
Yeah, it did, like a couple years ago, but it feels like yesterday.
Yeah, super powerful set as well, because you're just getting counterattacks from a two-piece set, and if you're using it on the right champions, like I love using it, for example, on champions like Leorius, Skullcrown, right? Because it's gonna go next to their Savage or whatever else they might have available, and then you're just basically going to counterattack when you have that unkillable on. You get to maybe get some healing back as well if you have the right masteries, and just basically rinse and repeat. And if you farm the Ice Golem every now and then for different sets, and you're getting a few good pieces, this is a two-piece set, right? You can easily put something together, and I like the set, not only for PvP, but for PvE content as well, clan boss and other areas like that,
Yeah, man, and like the more powerful A1s, I just feel like, man, thinking back when we started playing, man, like back in 2019, 2020, whatever, it just like, think of the power creep that's happened to A1, the basic abilities in this game, and then how much more value you can get out of your average counterattack, how many powerful AoEs, like Queen of Hearts most recently, like these strong AoEs, or Freya, like they can be very, very dynamic on the counterattacks. And it's kind of a nice stack with Retribution and Deterrence and Retaliation, and you can get a lot of those counterattacks. So I totally agree with that call out.
I think it's a good one.
I will go with, man, I'm thinking of like, I didn't have this on my original list, but I'm looking at that Provoke set right up there on top of it, right? And Provoke is a nasty little set as well, right? Similar to Stun, you could use it potentially in like an area like Hydra. It's only a 30% chance, so it's not as dependable to be your main Provoke. But again, in the arena, you can pull off some kind of nasty, now that we can build a Stone Skin 4-piece plus a Provoke 4-piece, right? Like after the introduction of 9-piece sets, it actually gave a little bit more wiggle room to some of these traditional 4-piece sets that you probably wouldn't build just a 4-piece Provoke without the Stone Skin. But sometimes you're given the option on champions that have a counterattack mechanism, that have an AoE on their A1. 30% chance to Provoke is significant, right? So Provoke and Stun. Stun, everybody knows it's an S tier. It's an awesome set. But Provoke, I feel like, is slept on. And it can be a very capable and interesting kind of off-meta build to take your opponent by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost double the chance from the stun, bro. And yes, you're basically still allowing them to take a turn and use the basic skill. But it can be a really powerful set, even on champions like Hegemon. Maybe you're going to build a crowd control Hegemon for Arena, live Arena. Now, it's just so popular, right? Because so many people don't really run Stone Skin on their buffers and stuff, right? Thermimeter boosters. So that can be massive. You provoke them because it's a much higher chance than stunning them, just in case if the lockout falls out or you might not have enough accuracy for whatever reason. The sets don't require the accuracy, and that's absolutely massive, and it is great even for the Hydra clan boss and other PvE content, Curse Zero, etc. It is a strong set that a lot of people are sleeping on.
I completely, obviously I agree. I call the setup, man, but like it's nasty. I built a Mithrala Provoke. Cruisin was like talking about it to me one time on the channel, and I was like, bro, that's nasty. Like opening up that A2 hexing, provoking, and turning those into petrifications. It's just like you can do some like really unorthodox, again, off meta stuff with a provoke set. So, and I agree, 30% chance is better than 18 on the stun.
Yeah,
and it still synergizes with Fearsome Presence if you wanted to bump it up to 35, which is really, really nice, right? So,
absolutely.
Okay, provoke. What you got next, man? Anything else for us?
I'm gonna go with another 2-piece set.
Okay.
This is coming from the Forge Pass, but I feel like even though the Mama set, which is the stalwart, kind of like it got expired, I feel like even Defiant as a set is kind of like being slept on. It's just such a strong set. That freaking damage mitigation from AoE attacks is massive. And let's be honest, everybody is using AoE damage dealers mostly now, especially for PvP as well. It is a bit harder to fit it in PvP and stuff, but for PvE as well, especially if you're kind of like progressing through the game, and like this is going to be so massive versus bosses and pretty much any other content, because 10% defense, 15% damage reduction for a 2-piece set is absolutely massive in my opinion, even for damage dealers in clan boss while you're progressing and stuff. I feel like it's a very strong set that a lot of people are kind of like really ignoring.
I had this on my list too, man, and I completely agree. Think about it this way, man. You can stack that up. If you really want to go all out, you can get 45%
damage mitigation,
AoE damage mitigation, right? You can build a team around Defiant, right? You can build like an ally protector with AoE damage mitigation, with a perfect veil for another 15%. That bumps it up from a 45 to a 60% chance. Then you get the blast proof mastery, bro. Then a 65% damage mitigation from AoE attacks. You can really build some unique, and all the defense too, some really unique tanky builds with Defiant.
You're welcome.
I agree. That's a really good call out. All right. One more I've got.
Bring it on. What do you have?
There's a lot of honorables here, I feel like. I do think that I guess I'll give it to Toxic. Toxic is such a weird set, right? Because it's the small version of Poison, right?
It doesn't really do that much, but actually it helps a lot. Yeah.
It does. Like you can build like a little Toxic, maybe with a retaliation set to round out the build too. But they buffed it to a 75% chance. So like you're placing those poisons on a champion, like it's a situational set too, right? It's not going to help you everywhere, but it can help min-max damage from somebody. Like I think I run my Apothecary sometimes in a Toxic set, right? Just like it's a random way to get extra damage. And you can use it like if you're lacking the poison for Chimera Trials or something like that, right? You can use it in that way. So like it's kind of like, it's not a War Master. I don't want to overstate it. but it's a way to get a little bit extra damage out of support champions that are going to stay alive anyway, you know? So I think sometimes we build tanky champions or fast champions just tanky, just for the sake of it. But sometimes you can get a little extra damage out of them. And Toxic is a set that, hey, it's been around since the beginning of the game. Odds are you have some lying around. You might as well use it on a champion to get extra damage. Champions that kind of auto-attack too, like an Inquisitor Shamil. You know, in some situations, you use that for extra damage. Just got to be careful that you don't fill up the debuff bar. That's the only thing with the Toxic set.
Yeah, I am actually using the set, sorry, on Lady Mikaye for the Chimera, and it's not mainly to deal the damage with poisons to complete the trial, because that's pretty hard to do. It's mainly just to add extra debuffs, because a lot of the trials require you to have 6 debuffs, 9 debuffs, 10 debuffs. And that's the way I'm doing it, with the Toxic set, basically. And it works amazing for me.
Awesome, man. Well, did you have any more you want to mention? I think we went through like 6 or 7 sets here.
Yeah, I think that's it pretty much, bro. Like,
awesome,
we have tons of other sets that, they got power crept and stuff. So I feel like this is definitely a solid list,
Yeah, man, I wish they would go back through, like, I guess on a note to end with here. I loved what they did with the set buffs, you know? Like, even, like, curing is not great, but, like, it's a lot better than it used to be. And, like, sometimes you can just use it on a healer that you don't need your best gear on, you know? So there's a lot of examples like that. But I wish they would... It's been a couple years now. We were talking off air, and it's just like, dude, a lot of the other dungeon sets really still struggle right now, have been crept. So
they do, yeah.
I hope that they go through sometime in the next year and take a look at some of these sets too, and like Fury or something like that, you know, like and maybe rework some of these other sets that we didn't talk about that have really just fallen way out of the meta. A lot of them, even for newer players, you wouldn't really recommend them invest too heavily in. But anyway, that's another video for another day, man. Thanks so much for coming on, guys. We're gonna do a collab on Skratch's channel as well, so check us out there. Thanks again, man.
Peace, bro. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for watching till the end, and as always, take care.